Hey, and welcome to the Systems Boutique podcast. I'm Dr. Raymona H. Lawrence. Most people just simply call me Dr. Raymona. I'm your systems stylist and your business operations expert, and I'm here to help you build a high-end boutique style back-end that creates ease and scalability for you without sacrificing the luxury experience your clients absolutely deserve. So if you're a speaker, a coach, a consultant, a course creator, or author who's ready to stop the overwhelm, ditch the tech confusion, and finally streamline your systems and operations, you are in the right place. Each week, I'll bring you actionable strategies, expert insights, and behind-the-scenes business systems and operations insights to help you scale with ease, efficiency, and absolute excellence. So grab your notebook, your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's get to work. Welcome to the Systems Boutique, where systems meet style. Hey, and welcome to this week's episode of the Systems Boutique podcast. And who do I have styling you in the boutique today? It is once again the fabulous Coach Rockett. Hey, Coach Rockett.
What's up? Happy day.
Yes. So why do I keep bringing Coach Rockett back? So let's talk about that real quick. So Coach Rockett is one of our executive coaches in the Systems Boutique. So let me make sure that you all understand what an executive coach is and all the fabulousness that you get from them in the Systems Boutique. So we have a few executive coaches. Coach Rockett is one, and then we have Coach Gio. So you all have heard from him. He does book coaching. We have Coach Carlos, who is the curriculum coach. We have Coach Arletta, who does some speaking coaching. We have me, who does systems, operations, all the things. And Coach Rockett is an expert with content, with AI, with marketing stuff, all the things. And so we rotate and they do podcast episodes, but they also have little mini lessons that they do within the Systems Boutique. And so if you come into the Systems Boutique and you use our CRM or our systems and operations services, you will get access to their micro trainings and the different things that they do within the boutique. And so that is a special added bonus that you get in the Systems Boutique. So I wanted to make sure that you all know why Coach Rockett keeps showing up, why Coach Gio. Even though she is so much fun, she is one of our executive coaches, and that is a layer. And, you know, we talk about Coach Rockett, the who, not the how. And my vision in the Systems Boutique was to not be the who for everything. So I don't know AI like you do. I don't know content creation like you do. All of those things. I don't want to know how to coach people to write a book like Coach Gio. I don't want to coach people for curriculum. So you all are the who's that make the magic work in the boutique. And so you're all here styling all of our clients. And so that's what makes this so much fun. And so I wanted to make sure that people know what it is that you do in the boutique and that you do so many other fabulous things. Coach.
Yes. And I'm just excited to be here working with all the stars.
Yes. Yeah. So let's get into this content for this week. And I know a couple of weeks ago, we had this podcast episode about content and preventing burnout and making sure that we are organized and structured with our content. And so we had this one thing that we talked about, and we said, look, the problem is not the content and that the content doesn't work, is that you are not working, right? We were like, ooh, that's a moment. So we wanted to dig a little bit deeper into that for you all today to really talk about the system behind posting. because a lot of people post and then that's all they do. They think that it's the nice creative, it's the storefront that they have. But when you get into the store, which for us as online business owners is the behind the scenes for social media, right? There's got to be a system. There's got to be something else that keeps the people there. So that's what I want to start with. Kind of break down for us. What is that entire system behind that post? Is from the brainstorming piece of it to hitting publish to tracking the success. Walk us through what happens with each step of that.
Gotcha. So I will say this. I'm a little bit of a mad scientist around my system to post. I'm on 5 different platforms and I have a specific system for every platform. Okay. I have to make sure you guys know that. But all of them start with researching and listening. Researching and listening. I got my ears to the ground trying to figure out what my dream clients are saying, what some of my competitors are posting, and then people are putting in the comments. So I'm reading their comments. I'm really paying attention to all those things. And I'm kind of creating a topic bank, right? Like I'm creating a bank of topics or ideas around the content that I could create. But not every topic or idea is going to be something I do, but I'm definitely paying attention because we share some of the same audiences. So the next thing I go into is like, okay, how am I going to actually put this out here? For the platform itself, I decide I want to do a reel. If it's Instagram, I want to do maybe an image post or some sort of carousel. I might even want to go live, right? I'm in my stories a lot. I sell in the stories. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I start to brainstorm, okay, how do I want this content to be disseminated? And then the next step is actually creation. Oh my goodness. This is the part where a lot of people fall flat. They will do all this brainstorming, research, and writing. They have Google Docs and notepads full of content. But when it comes down to actually creating it, this is where they fall off. I actually schedule a whole day just to create. I don't do researching. I don't schedule nothing. I just do creation. So that's writing and doing videos or whatever. I'm doing creation. And then another day I do scheduling. That's the 4th thing I do. I schedule. I love using the Systems Boutique. I don't know if I told you this, but I probably did. I have about 8 different YouTube pages, and the Systems Boutique allows me to add all 8 of my YouTube pages, and I can schedule content in the Systems Boutique. I just got to say, clap for the heavyweight champ. You. I just had to say that because when you have all these platforms you're posting, scheduling is so important, y'all. It allows you to be present in the moment because you have content already scheduled. And then, of course, there's tracking it, right? Like I'm paying attention to what gets likes, what get comments, what actually converts for me. So how many people are actually raising their hand, how many people are DMing me, clicking links, those type of things. So I would say that's my system in general, but it does kind of vary per the platform.
I love that you say you do research for each platform and you really pay attention. And we were talking to someone else the other day about going in the comments and really seeing what, yes. And oftentimes we say, I'm gonna get my popcorn and I'm gonna listen to drama, but this is the real strategy.
My notepad.
Right. I'm getting my notepad, my pen, whatever else I need, and going in the comments and seeing what do people say. Even if somebody posts something, yesterday I was reading a post and they're like, I'm a business owner and I want to get out of the day to day and I want to stop having to do all these things in my business. And I was like, oh, take that. Let's make a post out of that because this is what I do. I'm the operations person. I can support you totally. Like, yes, you need to be the visionary, the creative. Let me do that. And so when we pay attention to what people are saying, we really can get that content out there that really speaks to that ideal client.
Yeah, you're actually saying the exact words that they're saying inside of their head. So whenever you post the content, they will say things like, how did you know? Why you all in my business? Because you put it out there. I'm just regurgitating it.
Exactly. So that makes it so much easier when you go and do your research versus because we're not out here trying to think of what to say, right?
Nope.
It's coming from what other people people that are the ideal client are saying already, right?
Yep.
And giving it back to
Absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I love the fact that we have to think through this process behind actually publishing, right? So we publish it, and we know it's not just about the post itself. It's about the strategy. So how do you make sure that every post fits perfectly into not just what the people are saying, but into your bigger content plan? Because I think what I've seen is, and I've done it before, I won't just put it off on the people. What I've seen and what I've done in the past, I don't do it now. I really think through my content, but in the past, I have just posted things randomly. Like, here's something this day, here's something this day. And so, how do you make sure that what your content is fitting into that bigger plan that you have?
That's a really great question. And I'm so glad you admitted to just posting with no strategy, because a lot of us do that. Even when I post with no strategy, well, it appears I have no strategy, I still have a strategy. I just need y'all to know that's called market research. Okay. But I'm a firm believer online. I'm here to do two things. And I believe I said this in another episode, but I'm here to grow and I'm here to make sales. Those are my two goals when I'm online: growing and making sales. And so growth looks like growing my following, growing my email list, growing in my authority, growing in my expertise, reaching new people. So I might be putting out content that boosts my visibility, that shifts beliefs, that builds my list, right? I'm looking to grow as this authority figure in the online space. The other side is that is sales. You got to make money. If you're in a business, if you have no sales, no leads, you basically have no business. So my other part of my content is sales driven. And that means I'm putting out content that has call to actions, is telling people to directly spend their money with me, right? And so when you know this, when you have these two things in mind, growing and making sales, there's going to be phases of your, I want to say seasons, where you're doing more growing than selling, or you're doing more selling than growing. And it really just depends on what you got going on in your business. But I promise you, those two things are the most important things online. I don't care what they say. Oh, I want to motivate and inspire. Baby, do you want to grow and do you want to make money? That's the only two things. Only two things. So that's what I would say as far as like the strategy. And do you have an actual strategy to grow? Like I said, that could be lists. You could be sharing like very value driven content. You could be sharing how you're an authority or expert. I love something you posted the other day. You were talking about how you do help people put their systems in place. Like, I need to know those things. I need to know that there is an all-in-one platform for me to do all these things. And then by you saying book a call, that's a direct ask. That's you moving forward with some sort of sales strategy. So you basically combine both of them. Not only am I adding value, but now I'm telling you to come over here and spend your money. Perfect relationship.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that transition, because I'm learning, and I'm glad that you saw it.
Oh,
I'm learning.
look, I be lurking on y'all. I be like,
Okay, come on, come on. I love the feedback, and so that let's talk about that one real quick. So doing that transition into, here it is, I'm giving you the value, I'm giving you the things that you need and that you need to hear, and now I'm transitioning into this call to action, and I'm saying book a call with me. I know that a lot of times people think, oh, that feels weird. Here I am. I'm getting salesy, all of that. And so talk about how you smooth that transition in your own content, and how you make that, how you help other people to give that call to action. Cause I think that's such an important, obviously, part of a post.
Yes. First off, before we even move forward, I want everybody to say this. I need you to repeat these words. These are very important. I'm either going to be salesy or I'm going to be broke.
I love it. I'm going to be salesy or I'm going to be broke.
Okay. And I choose to be salesy every single day. Okay. Because I refuse to be broke. But what I want to say, when it comes to a call to action, there's going to be different strategies. There's different structures. one of my favorite things to do is to remind people of what you said in the post and then tell them to do something. It's sort of like summarizing it and then telling them to take action. So if I wrote a post about why lead generation is important, there's something I wrote the other day and I used it again. I was like, you need to touch them often, you need to love on them every day, and you need to close them. Right? Like that is a very strategic call to action because I talked about touching the leads, loving on the leads, and closing the leads. I'm basically summarizing what I said and then saying, if you are struggling in these 3 areas, you need to go ahead and book a call with me. I'm summarizing it. I'm bringing the point home. I find that call to actions that bring the point home and then tell them to do something works best, especially in the online space, because people naturally want to be told what to do. Okay. And let me tell you how I know. Do you have an alarm set to wake up in the morning? Because you want to be told when to wake up. You can't even trust yourself to wake up on time. A lot of us need that extra to tell us what to do. So when you are so in tune with your audience, you speak to them and then you tell them what to do, they're more likely to do the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in just, book a call. Book a call if you want to have an all-in-one system that does all the work for you. Schedule an appointment with me if you want to learn how you can schedule 8 YouTube channels of content in one day.
That's good. Let me make sure I write
You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
I'm bringing their reality to the forefront and telling them to do something so they can actually resolve whatever challenge or struggle they have.
Yeah.
That's what I believe makes an excellent call to action.
Yeah. Y'all get these calls to action right. I love that. And that feels so conversational, like, oh, I'm getting on a call with you because I need that. I need my 8 YouTube channels to have this content, so I'm not in content all day and trying to post this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that is so good. So as we're talking about calls to action and all that, copy. Let's think about that.
Ooh.
So as we're writing copy, people always say copy is king. We're going to say queen for the boutique. So copy is queen. And so how do you craft those captions? Okay. So this is your captions are so good. And I know that part of it is listening to your audience and things like that. So tell us how you get the captions all the way together. How do you snatch the edges on your captions so that we are jumping into your DMs, into your inbox, and then it's actually sparking the conversation, engagement, and not only that, but the conversions.
Yes.
Because that's what we want.
Yes. I love that you said copy is king or queen. And I do believe that, y'all. But there is something way like, I actually say copy is king and your messaging is queen.
Okay.
Because your message is the actual engine in the car. The car itself is the copy. It's the content. But your message is the engine. If there's no engine, the car don't move. So I do believe that your messaging is queen. And so I know my people like the back of my hand. I know what they do on a Monday, just like I know what they do on a Saturday. I know my person so intimately that when I write a caption, I know exactly what to say to them. I know what seasons they are in their life. I know what January looks like compared to July, especially if they have kids. I know what the summer is looking like for them compared to right after Christmas. I know my person because my messaging is dialed in so clearly. But there are some people who are like, how can I structure a caption, or how can I structure this caption in order to like get it to convert? And I'm going to say this inside of my programs, what we talk about inside of the systems boutique with the stars, I do have frameworks that I've created over time of how to write a caption. But the best way for you to write a caption is to start it off with an amazing dynamic hook. And one of my favorite ways to do that is to either be shocking or contrarian. Shocking is like, wait, I didn't expect her to say that. Contrarian is like, wait, why are you saying it? No, that's not what most people say. So shocking could be, you need to touch him all day. What are you talking about, Rocky? Touch him, right? That's shocking. And it makes people want to see what else I have there. A contrarian could be, I don't believe in posting every single day, and here's why. And you're like, well, most people say that you got to post every day. Why you think that? So always start with some sort of dynamic hook. The next part of your caption should go into beliefs, values, right? What is a belief someone has in reference to that topic you just brought up that you are looking to shift or get them to see it a different way? If I can say touch them all day long, and then they're like, oh, what is she talking about? Go into it. I'm talking about your leads. You need to be nurturing them. You already generated them. You need to be nurturing them. And then I can share the beliefs or the value behind why nurturing is important. That third thing I like to do in a caption is before I bring it home, I like to connect it to real life points. I like to generate some sort of real connection with people. So it could be, you know what, when you just put that lead magnet out and you generated 100 leads, I bet you didn't call them. You probably only just emailed them a couple times and they didn't do anything right. And then people are like, ooh, why she coming for me, right? And
Shots
so
fired.
shots fired, right? And then that last piece is I close. That's my call to action. I tie it all in together and then I bring it home. Either, if you know you haven't been nurturing your leads, then you need to jump on a call with me ASAP. If you know your systems are out of order, you don't even know what zap or what make is zapping, you need to book a call with me. I bring it all in, and that is pretty much how I would structure a caption for someone today.
Yeah, I love that. That is so good. And I think that this conversation is so good for people, regardless of if they started business yesterday or if they've been in business 10 or 15 years, because speaking to your audience, copy, messaging is something that is difficult for most people, right? It is a challenge for some reason. It's like, okay, I know how to be a normal person out in the street, but when I get online and I have to write something, all of a sudden, and we talked about this a few episodes ago, we become academic Annie or what did you say the other one was? Chatty Cathy or something.
Patty Cathy or whoever, y'all, I'll be like, just say what you're trying to say. You want me to spend money with you, but you don't even know what you. Okay, that's another episode for another day.
Oh gosh. Okay. So let's talk about timing. So now we got the post and we've done all these things to get it ready.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we look at the data and we see the little bar graph where people are posting or what time they're on, Instagram or Facebook. Is that what you use to determine your timing, or is there something else that you do to determine the best time for a post? And then when you post, are you concerned about hurrying up and getting more comments under the post and all of that? So tell us about that piece of it.
So I need to be very honest with y'all. I do not stress about the best times to post.
Phew.
I don't even care. Hold on, let me release somebody today. You do not have to care about the best times to post. Whew, sha-na-na-na. Okay, here's what really matters. It's about engagement. It's about when you choose to engage with your audience, right? Now, I will say there are some strategic times, like right before I make a post or right after I do engagement with my audience. So my top 10 list that I have for the week, I might be going to their pages and see if they posted content, and I'm engaging with them because I know my post is about to post. And that helps me get the engagement, get the conversations going. But I really don't have a best times to post. I do pay attention to when my audience is online because I might want to engage with them during those times, right? If they're more prevalent at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., then I want to be showing up at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. to engage, because that engagement is actually what helps me convert better than me caring about what time my post is posting. The way the algorithms are set up on all these different platforms, as long as your content is digestible, it's good, it's easy to hear and see, people are going to see it. It's just at that point, it's just a rate of how fast they see it. I like to boost that up with engagement. And that is me just interacting with people and making connections. I build community. I build real life. That's what I tell people. So I focus on engagement time and not necessarily the time to post. That's what I would recommend to everybody.
Yeah, that's so good. And as I think about this idea of a list, I have that too, where I'm thinking about, certain people that have raised their hand who have interacted with me in some way, who I know might need my services. And I will have that list of whoever I'm going to be really engaging with that particular week and go in and either have some type of DM conversation with them, because that's going to put you up in the very front of their content
Yep.
if you have had a conversation with them in the DMs for sure. And then if you've commented on their stuff or if they've commented on yours, you notice you start seeing the people. This is the algorithm, y'all. So this is what you're doing to kind of manipulate that. And so that's such an important point, to have that list of people. And so it doesn't feel like you're trying to interact with everybody and figure out, you're doing this concentrated engagement, and it's not like everybody won't see the things that you're posting or whatever the algorithm allows. um but
They see you. They see you.
I saw somebody posted that people are online and they say that they don't see you, but they're looking to hate and do all kind of other stuff.
They see you. They see your content.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. And so that's important to ensure that we're making sure that we, have that concentrated group of people that we're engaging with first. And then, okay, so what happens after that 1 week with that group of people for you? So what system do you use? So do you have 50 people per week? Like 10 a day?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a real nasty question, y'all. Okay. So this is where people pay me thousands of dollars to understand how I funnel people and how I convert people. And let me just say this. Yes, I absolutely have a system. I reply to every comment with intention. I follow up with voice notes and messages in the DMs. I save great comments and I turn them into posts. So, and I call people out. Like, I make people feel like they're a part of my community, because really that's what I'm building. I'm building relationships. I'll ask people in the DMs, hey, this is a great question. Can I share this? Or can I, share this with my audience? I build the relationship, because engagement doesn't stop after you make the post and after you, engage with them on the post. Engagement continues. And so part of my funnel is, I strategically, so I'll just say for Facebook, because that's where I show up the most. I choose 10 people off of my list every week to strategically engage with throughout the whole week. I might even favorite them. I go to them strategically every day and engage with them. At some point throughout that week, I'm now starting a conversation in the DMs, because I am keeping tabs on them. They're potentially a dream client for me. So I'm having conversations in the DMs and we're just casually talking. And then, you know how you are when you date and you trying to get to know somebody, you got to ask them for their number. I asked them for their number.
Okay.
Okay. I'll say, listen, I notice you be showing up, but I don't hear you talk about, the Systems Boutique all the time. I went on there and it's amazing. Why not? And then we just start talking. That's me asking them for their number. They get to decide if they want to share with me or not. And I promise you, 99% of the people, because I am so personable, so engaging, and I also care about the people I interact with, they always respond back. So once I get your number, it's just a matter of time before we go to third base.
Oh gosh, I love that. And it's like when you say it, it's simple and it makes sense, but I think we overthink this.
Being you is so hard.
Yes.
That's it. Being you is so hard. People love that I can nerd out with them, and I can also be a little thuggish sometimes in my DMs, and I could be a little proper as well. Like, people love that there's dynamics to me, but not just in the DMs, in my posts too. I'm the same person. In person, I'm the same person. You get me, and that's why we talked about in the earlier episodes, just be yourself. That's it.
Yeah, love that. So let's talk about this last thing about hashtags, right? So we talked about CTAs a little bit, but now when we're on Instagram, I think hashtags are more important on Instagram than they are on some other things, but let's talk about that too. So how are we messing up with these hashtags? What's a good strategy for that? And how do you all just balance all these different elements? So we've talked about the copy, the message, the hashtags, the CTAs, all of that to make this post something that's really optimized for engagement.
Gotcha. So I will say this, I don't worry about hashtags as much as I used to, maybe like in 2019, 2020, when they were really a big thing, especially after when COVID was happening. Hashtags was so important for you to just find people and things. But hashtags aren't as important, but I will say there are some hashtags that are, right? So if you are niche specific, so I might want to include things that are about content and marketing. I don't want to include flowers because flowers has nothing to do with me, right? So niche specific. If you are location based, maybe you serve a lot of local clients or you generate a lot of local business, you should of course be adding location based. So that could be ATL, it could be ATL businesses, it could be Dallas businesses, right? So something that's location based, and it could also be like topic based or related to like your actual content that you're posting. I get away from using random hashtags. Like hashtag love is one of the number one hashtags on Instagram. It'll get drowned out. There's like I want to say double digit or triple digit millions of posts with the hashtag love. And so there is a thing as, you know, how a hashtag could be very crowded or it could drown out because there's so many posts. And then there's some that are so small that they don't get as much reach and engagement as others. So I always say just do your research on which hashtags would work best for you on your posts. You can use anywhere from 3, you can use 9, you can use up to the whole 30, you can use 1 or you can use none. What matters is good quality content when it comes to you posting. Facebook really doesn't care about hashtags, y'all. I'm gonna be very honest. It don't care. LinkedIn does care about hashtags. It's probably not as much, but still be very specific. Don't just use random hashtags on LinkedIn just to be using them. YouTube is important. TikTok is absolutely important hashtag strategy because people search hashtags all the time on TikTok. They search those. That is topic specific. Oh my goodness. I could talk about that all day. TikTok's algorithm is beautiful, by the way. So it's important, but it's like you have to know the platforms in order to really leverage the hashtags. I have a post that did so freaking well on Instagram. It was a reel and I was sharing like the top 7 ways that you can turn one piece of content in 7 different pieces of content. It had no hashtags, but I was able to get 2 clients from that. They signed up for my AI course. And then also just generated some calls, like no hashtags, none. Whereas I'm using all the hashtags in the world and I'm not getting none of that. So that's why I say just go with what works. Do what works for you and your dream clients.
Yeah, I love that. And that was the next thing I was going to ask you about something that was really that turned into something great from your content strategy. So that Instagram post that got you some AI stuff, is that the one that is
Yes,
the
I was
star?
eating the pizza dancing with 7 ways you could turn a one piece of content into 7 different pieces of content. I was just eating a pizza dancing and it blew up. I was like 25,000 eyes on this. What? It blew my mind because I was like in the kitchen just eating a piece of pizza and I was like, oh, I'm gonna record myself. Oh, I'm gonna turn this into content. Oh, y'all, we overthink content.
We make it too hard. Yeah.
Just too hard. People love me in my bonnet. Now, do I post a lot of content in my bonnet? In my stories, yes, but not on my page. But they love it. They love it. So that's why I say we overthink everything.
Yes. Well, Coach Rocky, once again, this was fun. It was extremely educational. A wonderful, wonderful episode. And you all, here is another fabulous episode of the Systems Boutique podcast with Coach Rocky. And so we are signing off and we are saying goodbye and see you on the next episode of the Systems Boutique podcast. See you.
Bye, guys.
All right, my chic CEOs, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found value in today's conversation, do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with another star. That's a speaker, a teacher, an author, or a coach who absolutely needs it. And hey, if you're ready to finally get your systems together, let's chat. Head over to thesystemsboutique.com/strategy to book your systems style strategy call, where we'll map out your perfect business back end. So until next time, keep it chic, keep it systemized, and keep shining like the absolute star you are. See ya.